Okay, everybody. What's up, everybody? This is Mills the Virgo here. You are listening to Mills Speaks. This is the second episode in the twofer. I dropped two today. It's a twofer. I have a lot to talk about here. The episode today is entitled "Put the Weed in the Bag," and and this was inspired by Charlamagne the God. He was on CNN a couple of nights ago. No, it wasn't when he was on CNN. It was when he was on oh God, what's the guy from Saturday Night Live that's got the other guy? Seth. One of them Seth dudes, the Seth guy, all right, McFarlane, McFadden, McSomething, all right, Seth, late night, he used to be on Saturday Night Live, so he was on the show, and Charlamagne was basically telling him about the movie Belly. And those of you who have not seen Belly, you are not alone. I have not watched Belly in its entirety ever in my life. I do feel funny saying that, but that's just the facts. So, but there's a point in the film apparently where DMX and Nas are, preparing their product. Okay, they're street pharmacists. All right, so they're preparing their product, and apparently they have some young guys with them, and they're like, oh, we want to take over the world, oh, we want to be rich, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And DMX says something along the lines of, shut the fuck up and put the weed in the bag. I don't know that he said shut the fuck up, but I'm just guessing that this is what he said. But the other part of it is put the weed in the bag. So basically the point of the comment was, he felt like Joe Biden wants to be president but doesn't want to put the work in. You see? He doesn't want to, he feels like he wants to be president, doesn't want to go through the process of being the president, doesn't want to do these debates, doesn't want to, deal with the actual issues, explain how you've changed, if so, all of these things, I totally agree with him. I do think that Joe Biden feels like his son, who passed away, should be able to be enough to push him over the top. Him having been a vice president, him having been the vice president to one of the most popular, and some say best president we've ever had, but one of the most popular presidents and most popular Democrat presidents that we've had in some time, to Obama. So I do kind of feel like he doesn't think he has to work for the vote. I feel like him and Hillary Clinton, I felt the same way about Clinton. I just felt like she felt like she just deserved the vote. Like, no ma'am, no ma'am. All right. But I do feel like Biden feels the same way. I used to like Joe a lot, of course, until, these debates came up and such, because, Joe seemed harmless, but once you really see and realize and educate yourself on who these people are and what they did, because all of these people be in politics for 30, 40 years, it is extremely interesting to see what side of history they were on at different points of their life. I'd love to know what a 20-something-year-old Joe Biden, a completely, entitled, rich white boy, you know what I'm saying? He probably wasn't rich, but, entitled white boy, at 20-some years old, how he would fall, on what side would he fall on certain things that he, his party is allegedly supposed to fall on. You know what I mean? I just always wonder about the change in the people, because the people aren't always, down for the cause, unless you are motherfucking Bernie motherfucking Sanders. And listen, I'm not throwing my, support any direction in particular, because again, nobody's really said anything that makes me say, yeah, this is the move. Because at the end of the day, I don't care about the cool things that you can say that you can do. You can tell me you're going to give black people reparations. You can tell me that you're going to, wipe out student loan debt. You can tell me that there'll be free college. You can tell me all of these things, but it's really about what you can get done. You know what I mean? And so I had to figure out, do I believe that you can get this done? Now, if I'm 10 years ago, if I'm a 25-year-old, I'm believing and hoping and it's in my spirit that you're going to do right. But now I've got a little bit more education, a little more clarity on how things actually work. And I'm sorry, if we have another situation where we've got, a president who's a Democrat, but then we've got the Republicans taking over literally everything else, listen, then nothing's going to get done. Nothing's going to get done. That's just that. So, it's just, it's all about educating yourself and figuring out what you're trying to do. But I totally agreed with Charlamagne with the put the weed in the bag. I think a lot of people have to just put the weed in the bag. And some people won't get this. Some people won't feel it. But I don't care, I think there's a process to literally everything. And, in order for things to work right, you have to be able to deal with the process. You got to be able to, not only just know the process, but you also need to be able to work within the process. You have to know the process so well that now you know what you can do to circumvent the process. You see what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't immediately go in there trying to circumvent the process, and there's some people out there that are like that. They want to get over. And then, the universe allows them to get over. I listen, I experience this on a daily basis, at work. Like, some people just get, chance after chance after chance, and you're sitting here like, damn, what? It's clear to me, but obviously it's not clear to some, or the people that are important, So, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's really interesting. So yeah, put the weed in the bag. There's that. All right. And we're gonna end on that weed point. All right. We're not gonna go any deeper into this. You're welcome. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go. I wrote down some notes and such. I saw some really cool things that are going on today and yesterday. So I just want to talk about them. So Cyntoia Brown, you guys remember her? Yeah, because I feel like I talked about her either on the first or the second episode of this podcast, and that was back in January sometime. Well, we were made aware that Cyntoia Brown would be pardoned and released from prison because she had, if you guys remember, she's been in prison 10 years now. She was in prison when she was 14 years old. She was a part of a child sex ring or something like that, sex trafficking, and she killed one of the captors, and because she killed one of the captors, they tried her as an adult at 14, and then they put her in prison. So she's been in prison since she was 14 years old. She's 31 now, and when she gets out, she'll be on 10-year probation. I'm just praying that, she's got some good people around her. And I hope the movie deal comes, the book deal comes. I hope every deal she needs to live her life right and to try to get back the past. What's the number here? What is this? 15, 16 years? You know what I mean? 17 years of her life behind bars. So she's a 31-year-old woman now. Okay, so she hadn't, at 14, she was in sex trafficking, so she had sex, she'd been raped, but, she hadn't had any meaningful relationships. She didn't get to go to prom. She didn't get to go off to college. She didn't get to go be stupid at night, in your 20s, hanging out till all hours of the night. She didn't have an opportunity to have kids prior to now, that might not be her desire, but a lot of people have kids in their 20s, so it's like she didn't get to do any of the things that normal 20-year-olds and coming up on 30-year-olds get to do because of the bullshit ass system we have in our country. So there's that. But it was made known to us in January that she would be pardoned and let out, and then they were like, yeah, her release date's in August, and we were like, August? The fuck? I said, that's 8 months from now. So it must have been December or something. Or maybe it was January and I just was being ridiculous and it was 7 months. But I mean, 7 months, 8 months, that's still horrible to have to stay in jail. But I guess it's better than being in there for the rest of your life. But I mean, damn, they are well aware that she was within her right to, you know, to kill the person that was selling her into sex trafficking. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's hard out here for a pimp, but I just know that right around the corner for Cyntoia is about to be the absolute best rainbow ever. So, I mean, she gets out next week, okay? So, listen, I need old girl to get these deals. Like I said, I need all of the artists to bring her out on these festivals and these concerts. Okay, she needs tickets. All right, basketball, football, she needs tickets. She needs recognition. Listen, let her be celebrated because something happened in her life that typically doesn't happen to people who look like her. Okay, she was given a second chance. So shout out to Cyntoia Brown. All love here. All love. And she's just 4 years younger than me, so, you know, that's what's up. She's still got tons and tons of life to live. We just pray again, like, she's got tons of, you know, good people around her. That's what's most important. So, alright, I'm gonna move on. Another person coming home, apparently, out of jail. ASAP Rocky. I'm not super excited about this, and I won't have nearly as many words for him as I do Cyntoia Brown, but, you know, good for him. I'm glad, because it's been a long time. I mean, shit, he's been there, a month now? Coming on maybe a month and a half or so? Who knows? But it's been some time. Apparently, the 17th is when the courts decide whether or not he should be sentenced to jail or not in Sweden, but they have allowed him to leave Sweden. So, you know, they might as well go ahead and say he's not guilty, because let me tell you something, I'm not coming back to Sweden to do no time, okay? I will literally travel around Sweden and never go to Sweden, because I'm not coming back to your country to do time for 6 months, because that's how much time they want to put him in jail for being harassed and fighting some random person in Sweden. So, you know, I wish him the best. I hope that when he comes back, he says something really profound, like, I was a fucking idiot for believing that I didn't, you know, need to pay attention to social issues in the United States, because when you leave here, I'd like to think that there was some growth there. So, you know, who knows? And he doesn't even have to say it. I just pray he had some growth, you know, in this situation. Alright, turning the page. A Black Lady sketch show airs tonight. It premieres tonight on HBO. I'm bugged out because I feel like I was supposed to start HBO like a free trial or something like that, so that I could watch it. So I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess I could do that at any time. But I'd like to get them their ratings. So who knows? I might start a free trial tonight just so I can watch that show and then catch up on Insecure and all of these other things. But I'm really excited because it's got Issa in it with like 3 or 4 other funny black women who just like are hilarious and have been provided an opportunity to bring our stories in a comedic way to the silver screen. And what's dope about this is I think I saw a preview for the show maybe last month, and it has so many cameos. I mean, Angela Bassett, okay, the girl from Insecure, Amanda Seales I think is going to be a part of it, tons and tons of our actresses that we grew up loving, the new girls now, the young folks now. I mean, it looks great. It looks like what I needed to watch and have presented to me as a young girl, you know, because, you know, when I was a young girl, there was only a few ways black women acted on TV. I mean, you know, you was the sassy older woman, all right, or just a sassy woman in general. Sorry guys, I'm about to fix the mic. Or you were a you know, God-fearing woman, nice and calm and cool all the time, or you were dumb, you know, like there was, you know, or you were materialistic or something like that. So I didn't have a whole lot of different, people. Like, I feel like I had a different world, and I had Living Single to give me different aspects of being a black woman in America and the different ways that we are represented. And I love Different World because Freddie was so fucking different and authentic. She was so not Whitley Gilbert. And then, so that was the spectrum. It was Whitley Gilbert, and then it was Freddie, and then everybody else fit right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be fantastic to see them in different lights, be able to put these comedy shows together. Shout out to Issa. I think she's like an executive producer or something like that. So shout out to Issa for getting yet another HBO opportunity. I mean, you get the Insecure check, you get this black lady sketch show check. You do it, bitch. Okay? I love it. I talked about Joe Biden briefly. I do have Democrat debate written down here, but I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I didn't get an opportunity to really watch any of it on either night this week. But what I did see was a bunch of shenanigans. So I think Kamala took a major hit because there was some chick that really called out her bullshit, and I needed an answer, right? Because I get all of that. I get that Kamala may have some shortcomings, and I get, she was a prosecutor, you can't really trust her, even though it's interesting because black people will say this, but then the same black people will turn around if she were trash at her job and be like, she gonna be trash at her job, and then she get these opportunities we normally don't get. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like, yeah, I feel y'all, but at the same time, man, shut the fuck up, because whatever, right? But it deserves to be discussed. It deserves to be addressed. Like, if somebody has this legit ass question, I need answers. I don't give a damn how much I rock with you, or if I rock with you or not. So I don't know, Kamala. I don't know, bro. I don't know what happened last night. Of course, Bernie showed the fuck out the night before. I mean, I love Bernie. I really do. Don't get me wrong here. I really enjoy Bernie. I wish that he was our representative last election. I believe he would have beat 45, but then who knows with the Russian interference? Who the fuck knows? But I mean, I really enjoyed Bernie. He's just so crazy. He's like the old man. Get off my lawn. He's like one of those guys, and I love that. But I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, I didn't have too much else to say. I think they have another one coming up soon, I guess. I don't know. The most interesting thing that happened during the debate on the second night, I believe, is when my son, Tamika Mallory, and a few other protesters made it be known that Mayor de Blasio was up there, I guess, grandstanding about how great he was, and they had to, speak up and state that, it's unacceptable that Eric Garner's murderer, who so happens to be an NYPD cop, is still employed after murdering him on film that went viral. I don't know if you guys saw this video a few weeks ago. Eric Garner's daughter, his other daughter, because he had one daughter that passed away. She died from a broken heart. This whole situation, trying to fight this, trying to get justice for her dad, and she died. She died, I think, maybe a couple of years ago, or maybe last year. But I know it was recent. And the young lady gave a speech. It was the day before the statute of limitation was up on her dad's case, Mr. Eric Garner. And she was at, I think, Town Hall. She was at Town Hall. And she was so enraged. It was so much passion, so much rage, so much pain, so much hurt in her throat. Okay? It's horrible. It's horrible that your dad could get choked the fuck out, killed over some loose cigarettes. Okay? Over loose cigarettes, bruh. And the guy that did it, not only is he not behind bars, but he's like part of the crew that gets to put people behind bars. Like, I don't even understand. And then as a police officer, I mean, I know a lot of them are pieces of shit. So, I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to act like, you guys have this moral compass all the time. But I mean, the average person knows right from wrong. And I just don't understand, when you are part of the situation, why in the hell would you sit around and act like you're not to blame for this, or that you were well within your right to do the things that you did, when you know damn well you weren't. And, America can see that, the world can see that you weren't, right? But unfortunately, this is the world we're living in. And Tamika Mallory, like I said, my son, he's a rapper and activist. Tamika Mallory is an activist as well. They protested a bit, and apparently they waited until Cory Booker was done speaking. In the break, they said what they had to say. They were then told, you guys can stay, but you have to be quiet. So they decided, okay, we'll stay, we'll be quiet. About maybe two or three contestants or debaters later, the police come and they say, come on, you guys are getting the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you don't come with us right now, you'll be removed. And of course, I think they were arrested or detained or whatever you are if you're a protester, right? So, it's just, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But thank God there's people like these people who are willing to fight the fight when others aren't, or when others can't. And I just pray to God that something fantastic happens for Mr. Eric Garner's family, specifically his children, his grandchildren, because they've been dealt a pretty fucked up hand. So hopefully something good happens. Hard segue, very hard segue. But I watched the Breakfast Club interview. Actually, I listened to some of it, and then I watched some of it today. And part of it was Diamond and Princess from Crime Mob. That's number one, all right? And number two, Monica was also there. Separate interviews, same day. It was like an ATL day. So, I didn't really want to talk about Diamond and Princess, but I will say that I have to go back and watch that entire thing, because I kind of feel like that might have been one of the better interviews that I've heard in some time. And I really appreciated how candid they were and how just straightforward they were about the issues. And I totally forgot about them ladies. I forgot about some of the songs they had. Like, I'm bugged out that I forgot some of the songs that they were on. Like, I felt like an asshole today when I was listening. I was like, well, goddamn, yeah, they were on that. Yeah, rock your hips. Goddamn, yeah. So I'm just like, Jesus. So yeah, but no, my comment here that's written down is the Monica part. Monica's interview was fucking hilarious. Monica is, I think her and Brandy and Aaliyah, God rest her soul, were all the same age, and they were all like, just like 4 or 5 years older than me. So they're 40 now, right? So, Monica and Brandy, they're 40 now. So now you're entering into a new stage in life. You got a different Monica. Now, when we first met Monica, she had an attitude. Okay, she was 14 with an attitude. She's 40 with an attitude. Nothing's changed. But she gives less of a fuck now than she ever did, I'm sure. And she talked about a lot. She talked about her divorce from Shannon Brown, who plays basketball, was an NBA player, now plays in the Big 3 League. That's the Ice Cube League that was founded and created by Ice Cube, man. Listen, he's the commish. All right? So, they're getting divorced, apparently with some infidelities in this life. Monica didn't go into big time depth, but then again, I need to go watch the entire interview, because I don't think I've got everything on that. But the part that I saw that was hilarious was when Charlamagne started spewing that bullshit about black men don't cheat, and Monica was just like, wait a fucking minute, right? Hold up, wait a minute. She basically like, I only dated one race, so I know that's a lie. And she didn't appreciate the distinction. Oh no, black men, not black boys, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so listen, if you want a quick chuckle, go ahead and pull that up on YouTube, because it had me rolling the whole time. Like, she really had an attitude with Charlamagne with the black men don't cheat. DJ Envy knows what time it is. He was just like, yo, you need to just bail out. This is not worth the argument. This is not worth it, because she don't believe what we selling. All right, we need more people. No, Charlamagne just gonna keep pushing. So you guys go ahead and check that shit out. That shit was hilarious. I also just I wanted to start I wanted to start with this, but here we are, fucking almost 25 minutes in, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a disclaimer out here. Fuck everybody who's being ridiculous about Lela Rochon, and what do you expect? Her husband is gonna cheat on her because look how she used to look and look how she looks now, or look at Nicole Murphy and look at her, Okay, so, and I don't know that I mentioned this at all, so I apologize if this is a repeat. I don't see where I wrote this down, so I don't see where I wrote this down at, so I don't know if I talked about this before. Sorry about that. I had somebody at my door. I had to get to the door. I was a bit distracted just a moment ago. I may edit that out. I may not. Who knows? Yeah. So I don't know that I mentioned this last time, but yeah, Nicole Murphy, who's Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, and Michael Strahan's ex-girlfriend, and apparently a lot of other men's ex-jump off. She was photographed kissing, what's that man's name? Mr. Fuqua. Is it Antoine Fuqua? Who knows? Let's go with Mr. Fuqua. Okay, this is a movie director. He directed Training Day. He directed Equalizer 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. And he basically was out here in Italy, and they were both wherever they were. They were in bathing suits. That's number one. And then number two, they had the nerve to be kissing. And it wasn't like a kiss on the cheek. No. This was deep on them lips, and it was multiple pictures, so it wasn't like it was just, a picture taken out of context. No. This motherfucker got a history, okay? He got a checkered history of being horrible all the time, okay? So the fact of the matter is this: he hasn't said anything, because realistically speaking, he don't need to say nothing. Nobody should have said anything at this point. But after the picture surfaced and everybody had so much to say, Nicole Murphy was asked what the situation was, and she was just like, "Oh, this is a family friend, just that's all that is." All right. So then, of course, the internet went crazy. Family friend. Like, what are you talking about, family friend? I don't kiss my family friends like that. That's what everybody got to say, right? So a couple of days goes by. Lela Rochon, his wife, Lela Rochon goes ahead and deletes all of her social media. Okay, basically goes dark, and I'm just like, dang, this is ridiculous. I said, this can't be happening in the sunshine. I said, damn, this can't be happening to Lela. This can't be happening, And then, of course, some of these dudes out here was just like, well, you see what Nicole Murphy look like? What you expect him to do? I expect him to keep his penis in his pants. That's what I expect him to do. I expect him to keep his dick in his pants so that he doesn't have to be out here making me look like a complete fool after I'm at the house taking care of your stank-ass kids. Okay? That's what I expect. That's what we expect. Shit. So then this thing gets really stank after that. So then a couple of days after this, Lisa Ray comes out and she's just like, "Oh, Nicole Murphy, you wrong, girl. You going after somebody else's husband too? Again?" I said, "Oh no, Lisa." I said, Lisa. Okay. And so then they decided to ask the Brat about it, because if you didn't know, the Brat and Lisa Ray are sisters, and on the Ricky Smiley show and on Dish Nation, they asked the Brat, "Hey, is this true?" And Nicole Murphy tried to get with Lisa Ray's husband when she was married to I think he was like the president or the king of Turks and Caicos or something like that. She was the first lady, honey. So I don't know which one it was, but she was first lady. So and the Brat was like, "Yep, it's true." So this happens, and then Nicole Murphy comes back out with another statement. Now, this is something I would have never done. I already made one statement. I told you people that we were motherfucking family friends. I told you we was family friends. So what else do I have to say to you people? Oh, she's got more. She came through talking about, she apologizes to the Fuqua family. She apologizes to Lela Rochon. She apologizes to, you know, her family, the kids, all this stuff. She never meant for any of this to happen. Da, 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 da. She was married too, so she would never violate the sanctity of anyone's marriage, regardless of what's been reported about her, and all kind of shenanigans. And then she also directly, you know, said, hey, you know, Lisa Ray's been saying this about me for some time, you know, and I don't know why she's saying this. Now, obviously, we're not stupid, and she's not slick enough either. We're not stupid if she ain't slick, okay? And we know better than to sit here and act like, you know, is not a disaster, okay? And that's straight up. So we don't believe you, ma'am. You definitely need more people, because we believe that you are a disaster. We totally believe that. So she can go sit down somewhere. So, you know, I just want to say that Lela Rochon is the fucking best. I can't believe that people are trying to sit here and fat shame her and act like she is just, what, trash out here? Hey, fuck you, okay? I grew up, I was born in 1983, okay? I grew up in the, obviously, 80s and the 90s. Lela Rochon was huge back then, okay? Now, I don't care. I don't care that she hasn't been in a whole lot of things in recent memory. Shit, Nicole Murphy hasn't been Eddie Murphy's wife in recent years, and she's still out here making waves and being extra and ridiculous. I mean, you know, whatever, right? But, you know, Lela Rochon, let us not forget Boomerang. Let us not forget Way Nice Hell. Let us not forget Harlem Nights. Let us not forget the women of Brewster Place. Let us not forget Why Do Fools Fall in Love. Let us not forget Lela Rochon, please. Okay? She should be celebrated. She's a motherfucking national treasure, and she got an ain't shit husband. And I feel for her. I feel for her. A lot of people I know got ain't shit husbands, though. And that's facts. That's all facts. Okay? So, I feel bad for her for that, and I pray that this situation dies down and that she can get herself together and leave him, because apparently he has had multiple children on her during their 20-year marriage. Listen, this being married thing is not for him, so you need to go ahead and remove yourself from this equation, okay? I just can't take it. So, but that's her business, and that's between married folks, and you know the rules with married folks and their business. You don't butt in. Okay? You don't butt in. And lastly, what I have, well, it's not really lastly, I kind of jumped around. I do have something else to discuss. I saw a quote today Michael Moore made. He stated that he wanted Michelle Obama to run for president. And at first I said, well, first of all, Michelle ain't got time for y'all, because she ain't fucking with y'all like that. But Michelle is a great option, because here's the deal. I ain't got to watch a debate. I ain't got to do none of that stuff. I don't have to do research or any of that. I ain't got to do none of that. All I got to do, and I mean all I got to do, is put my trust in Michelle O. She gonna take care of that, alright? She gonna take care of it. She does not play games out here, okay? She doesn't mix words. She is no politician, just like 45. She's no politician, but she is well aware of how to act, okay? And I don't know if you guys paid attention, while Obama was in office, she made tremendous strides as First Lady with the Let's Move program and trying to get these raggedy-ass kids eating better and their crazy parents eating better too, you know, free lunches, all of these things. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I would support her, no questions asked. So, there's that. I also have Carmelo. So I don't know if you guys follow basketball or you guys know Lela, right? So Lala's got a husband. His name's Carmelo Anthony. He's a basketball player, and he's played in the NBA for about 15 years. And I say 15 because last year he only played 10 games with the Houston Rockets, and then he didn't play at all. So, this would be 16 years in, but let's just roll 15. Right. He did a sit down with Stephen A. Smith today, and he did that on First Take. I think they gave him the whole first hour block for First Take, and it was like a pre recorded episode and all of that. And he just wanted to clear the air about, the whispers around the league about him, how he was let go from each of those teams that he was let go from. When he was traded from New York to OKC, and when he was, released from OKC and then picked up by Houston, and all of these things. And then he definitely talked about him being released from Houston 10 days in to the season, which I thought was crazy. Or 10 games in to the season. So, I don't know. I feel bad for him. I do. But obviously, I think we all know the outside of basketball issues that Melo seems to have, and that he decided to be terrible out here, cheating on Lala, having a baby on Lala, all of these things. I know that he wouldn't talk about that per se, but that had to be a huge reason why he stayed in New York. Had to be a huge reason, because you can't work on deteriorating marriage from thousands of miles away. You just can't do it. So, he's just out here trying to put his feelers out for them teams so he can get picked up. I know that's all it is. He's just trying to get picked up. He's trying to get to a good team that needs, a role player or somebody like him. He needs to be on a contender. He wants a ring. I believe if he goes to a team and they make it to the finals and they get the ring, I think he's out. I think he's 100% retiring at that point. Go out on top, basically. There would be no reason to continue playing, in my view, because he spent all these years collecting the money, and now you got the ring. It's time for you to go. You ain't getting no better contracts or anything like that, so you might as well chill. So, shout out to Melo. Hopefully he gets a job this year. We hope. Let me see. He needs a job, because Lala, listen, her job's coming to an end with power, okay? All right, now they need money coming in. They're the last people that need money coming in, Jesus. But Lala also has another show. She's gonna be on that reboot for 90210, which I think is so dope. She's gonna be married to Brian Austin Green's character. His name was David on the show. He was Donna Martin's stepbrother. For those of you who know about 90210, okay. So I can't wait for that. I'll definitely be watching that. I typically don't like reboots and shit like that, but 90210 was my jam, straight up. And that's pretty much all I had to talk about to write down. I did have one big thing I was going to discuss, and for me, I know that you guys, everywhere you turn, someone's talking about mental health. Somebody's talking about, what you got to do to be happy, right? Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows everything. Everybody's a fucking therapist these days, right? But no, it's important. It's important. I mean, this was a very challenging week for me. And I think I would go ahead and put this still on Mercury, but even after July was over, so just yesterday and today, these were still some stressful days for me, and it was specifically at work. It was when you're trying to do everything that you can do, you want to constantly do your best. I mean, anybody worth their salt wants to be the best and wants to do their job to the best of their ability. And once you determine, once you start cheating the game, okay? So that's anything. And that term comes from basketball. People go, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant never cheated the game. They always gave you everything they had. They never took plays off. They never took games off. They never took seasons off. They always gave you their absolute best at all fucking times. even when they shouldn't, right? So, you know, you can look at that for every situation, at every job, in every facet, you know. We all kind of get to a job, we learn how to do it, you know. We're shaky, but we got it. We got it, but we're shaky, right? And then you get into a rut, right? You get into a groove. First you get in a groove, and then it becomes a rut, you know what I'm saying? And then you start to cheat the game. If you're not engaged, or if you're not satisfied, or whatever the circumstance is, you know, you start to cheat the game. And I've done a really good job, because I've had some horrible jobs. So no matter how bad I talk about my weeks at work are and all that kind of stuff, no matter how much that happens, you know, I will never say that I'm at the worst situation ever, because I have been there, done that, I feel, you know. And it can always get worse, but I've been blessed to have had that already. So my view is a bit jaded in that aspect, because I don't think that it could be worse than my previous jobs that I've had, one in particular. So, you know, what I do oftentimes now when I am at work or in situations where I'm uncomfortable or anxious, because that's really what it is. It was more anxious. I don't want to go so far and say I have anxiety. I don't have anxiety, but I had a lot of anxiety this week. I was extremely anxious about various things. Sorry about that, I hit the mic. I was very anxious about various things this week, and oftentimes I have to stop and say, hey, Jamila, why are you upset? Hey, Jamila, why are you tripping? Hey, Jamila, why is this so hard? You know, what aren't you getting? And most of the time that works, and then some things it just doesn't, you know. So, you know, I just struggled. It was just a rough one, you know. I even had a come to Jesus, I think, with my boss. It wasn't a big come to Jesus or nothing, but it was a nice conversation, and it helped to kind of get some of the aggravation and the anxiety off my chest, some of the things that I've been feeling about the job and feeling about certain folks. And, you know, you just got to get it out off your chest to the people that need to hear it, right? Not just to your friends. I can vent to my friends all the time. I mean, Rachel knows everything, you know, Carrie knows everything, you know, other friends that I may talk to, they know, you know, what I tell them. But, you know, it's important to get what you feel and how you feel out to the people that matter, or to the people that can affect change, because oftentimes they don't get the information that they need to be able to make better decisions. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we get frustrated when things aren't done the way we want them to be done. And I experienced some of that, you know, recently. I won't just say this week, but just recently at my job, where you look at a process, right, or a procedure, and you're like, okay, this is a no, you know, that's a no, you know, I don't think I want to do it this way, or it could be done this way, you know. So I don't know, you always think you can do something better. And I implore people to always feel that way, but you have to have a solution. You have to have answers. You can't just be out here like, oh, this sucks, and then have no end game. You know what I mean? So it sucks. So what? What are you gonna do about it? You know, what should we do about it? You know, how can we make this not suck? You know, this kind of thing. So suggestions is always important when you're dealing with, you know, shit like that. So it's important. So I think in dealing with and getting things off my chest, and then just praying, and then dealing with how I've been feeling, obviously today I feel better than I did maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And also it's because once 12:30 hit, I get off early on Fridays. Once that time hit, like, I definitely left the issues at work. I mean, straight up. I just didn't even have time for the BS. I just ain't got time for the BS, you know. I just move on with my day and keep it pushing, you know. So I left it at work. 12:30 I drove off, and the problems are there. And when I get back to work on Monday, I'll pick them back up, I guess, or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of my piece on stress, anxiety, dealing with it within the workplace, all of that. You have to look at who you're dealing with. You gotta know who you're dealing with. And I'm gonna take my own advice that I'm giving out right now, because I do need to apply this with some other folks in other facets of my life, not just work. And you can't always be upset when childish shit happens from a child, right? A grown child, a person that is of adult age but of a child mindset, okay? So you can't keep getting mad at childish stuff. The only problem that I think we run into as a people is that once you see that something is bad, like a bad apple, a bad tree, something bad, like a bad tooth, right? It only makes sense to get that out of there once it's bad. It doesn't matter how it serves you. It doesn't matter how much it makes your life easier. If it's bad, if it's rotten, then what are you gonna do? So I think it's important for everybody to kind of look at how they deal with stuff and how they deal with people. It's important to manage properly. So not just manage at work or anything, but like manage your life, manage the people that you let in your life, manage, the activities that you allow in your life and in your world. I'm not going to have too many people around me that don't understand that you have to save money, because I'm trying to learn how to save money, or I'm trying to save more money, right? So I don't need to be around a bunch of people who just shop and live check to check, right? So you have to manage that. And also, say you can't be around people who save an ass of money. That doesn't matter, because say you're around people who are like-minded, or you're around people who know that the situation that they're in right now isn't the end destination, and they know that they have their sights set on bigger shit. You know what I mean? Like, I literally have a bunch of friends just like this. We may not be where we want to be right now, but we all have our sights set on some other shit. We ain't just trying to work and get our paycheck and pay these fucking bills and go to shop and blow money fast and be stupid and then live check and then be struggling the second week after you get paid and be like, oh shit, I gotta make it till next week. We ain't trying to be that forever. You know what I mean? We trying to do better. And you gotta surround yourself with people like that. You have to. If you don't, then you'll end up like the people that you don't even want to be like. And I didn't at first believe that was true, but I saw it with myself. I saw it. I was around certain people at a certain point, and I had adopted the way that they think, the way that they kind of viewed things, cut my losses at some point, and broke away from them, started thinking for myself, and well, let's be real, I've always thought for myself, but started thinking differently, really stopped the woe is me shit, right? Because everybody got fucking problems. Everybody got shit. Everybody's got some shit, So don't hit me with the woe is me, So I said, well, if I don't want to hear it, then I damn sure can't be out here with bullshit, So I basically had to woman the fuck up and be like, you know what, yeah, you've been dealt a raw deal. Yeah, this is some fucked up shit here, and no, nobody feels sorry for you, and they probably won't, and that's okay. You just still gotta get through the shit though, and I just think I forget that at times, and I allow things to get me worked up, and it's hard because you want to be a good person, you want to be the best person you can be. But I think in part of being a good person and part of growing is realizing that you can't be everything to everyone. And And I think I am growing to accept that at this time in my life. I used to want to be the best at the job and the go-to person and all of these things. And, for certain things, people come to me and I'm happy for that. But I don't need that. I don't need that as validation that I'm a great person or that I'm a good worker or that I'm good with tech shit. Like, I don't need that validation anymore like I used to. I used to need that. I don't need that no more. I'm okay with doing my job the right way, being recognized one way or the other within my paycheck, and moving on with my day, right? So, I don't know, man. It just was a very trying week. Like I said, this Mercury retrograde was fucked up, but I'm telling you, this week right here was a doozy. It was a doozy. So, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. So, but, I think that's all I have for the most part here. I think that it's important that everybody understands that football is back. I don't know that I'll be following it the way I was heavy into football prior to all the Colin Kaepernick shit and the protests and then the stupid kneeling and then the stupid ass bastards. Oh, he's disrespecting the flag. He's disrespecting the country. You guys are fucking idiots, okay? Alright? So, I'm still aggravated by that. But I will say that I am excited for football again. I'm more excited for basketball though. Like October the 14th or 16th, whatever day that is that they come back, can't come back any faster for me. I'm extremely excited about this. I want to see how the Lakers look. I want to see how Golden State looks, quite frankly. I want to see what they look like without Kevin Durant. That'd be crazy, right? So yeah, I'm really excited for these things. There's a few, oh shit, I don't know how I forgot this. Today, a coworker told me about Regal Cinemas and how they have like this new monthly movie pass thing. So the price ranges between $18 and $23.50 a month. And you can, depending on what you choose, you can watch literally all the movies that you want. You get 10% off of your food and beverages, and that's regular beverages and alcoholic. You're welcome. It's literally as much as you want. And I think if you get the $23.50 one, that one is the includes like the IMAX and the RPA ones, or RP something. RPMs? I don't know. That's probably not right. The IMAX in the IMAX theaters as well. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I wanted to go see Lion King in IMAX because I said, well, okay, I might as well, because it's a beautiful film. I bet it'd be great on that big ass, nice, comfortable ass screen and them comfortable ass chairs and everything. But the ticket was $19.99. One ticket was $19.99, ma'am and sirs. And I said, my God. So if you get the $23.50 one, you literally could, that pays for itself after the first movie. And then you can see The Lion King as many times as you want. Or whatever you want, as many times as you want. So yeah, it's an actual trip. It's an actual trip. So I am looking into it. I'm not sure how I feel about getting it. We'll see how movies line up with the next year, and maybe I'll consider it next year, because I don't know that there's enough movies coming out through the rest of this year to valid, to truly validate whether or not I should get this service. I've been doing a really good job of cutting off these damn subscriptions. Got 100 of them tied to my life. Okay, Netflix, Hulu, okay, Tidal, student loans. That's not a subscription, but damn, they take my money every month on time. All of these things, man. I got this podcast host. Got to pay for that monthly. You know what I'm saying? All of these things, man. So I just been trying to cut it. So, but it's all good. So I'm going to give The Boys, another run this weekend probably. Certain episodes, probably won't watch the whole season, but certain episodes I'm definitely gonna run it back because I feel like I need more of that kind of action in my life. So, and again, The Boys is the new TV show or TV series that came out on Amazon Prime. So you guys check that out. It's about superheroes. They're corrupt. You got people in there that want to take them down. They don't have powers. It's amazing. So yeah, guys, I'm done. I pray that you guys have a fantastic weekend ahead. Okay? And I'm out.